Hey everybody, Lindsay Phipps from Lindsay Phipps Fitness here. Just want to introduce myself in case you just found this video on YouTube and you haven't seen a video from me before. So today I'm doing a Q&A from the members in my fitness community that I have on Facebook. If you're not in that fitness community and you would like some support and accountability, please reach out to me. We'll chat, connect, and then I can add you to that group. All right, so I'm just going to read off the questions and give you my answers. So the first one is, I struggle with meals. We don't have a grocery store, so I have an hour drive and spend about $300 when I go. I always take a list, but my kids are not always up or trying new things, and her husband is really picky. So my suggestion for you is, number one, when you're on a budget and you're trying to eat really healthy and follow a meal plan, well, number one is follow a meal plan. If you go to the store with a plan and a list, you're going to spend a lot less money. What I do when I go to the store with my meal plan is I sit down and I count out exactly how many, for example, how many chicken breasts am I going to use on this meal plan for the entire week or 2 weeks or however long I'm shopping for. How many servings of vegetables do I need for these recipes? And I count it all out, and I only buy exactly what I'm going to use over the next 2 weeks. This way, I'm not buying extra and spending extra money. I'm not randomly buying other things that aren't even on my meal plan, and that saves money as well. The other thing that you can do, if you've got kids or a husband that's pretty picky and you're just starting this healthier lifestyle, so eating healthier is really new to everybody, I suggest picking 1 or 2 nights a week and trying a new recipe, and the rest of the week eating some of the favorites that your family has. It's going to be too much stress on you and overwhelming on you to suddenly introduce an entirely new meal plan with all new recipes that are all healthy and all different from what your family is used to eating. I think that gets to be too much. So what you can do instead is look for ingredients, like ingredient alternatives. If your family really loves pizza, I have a pizza bake casserole recipe on my blog, and it's really good. It still has some cheese and things like that in there, but it's a healthier alternative than ordering pizza. If your family loves tacos, look at the ingredients that you're using for your tacos and change things up. If you're using beef, use ground turkey instead. If you're using sour cream, use plain Greek yogurt instead. So take those recipes that your family really loves and just find some healthier alternatives for them. There's tons of recipes out there, and plus there's a lot on my blog as well at lindseyphippsfitness.com. And then, like I said, 1 or 2 nights a week, let that be a new recipe night. And if it bombs, it bombs. I've had some that just tanked, and my husband was like, don't ever make that again. It was gross, and I don't make it again. And then I have more recipes, probably 90% of them, that are a hit, and I add them into the rotation. And eventually, those recipes that are a hit, you can start making those on those other nights and still introducing a new recipe. So eventually you will replace the family favorites with new family favorites that are also healthy. The next question is, I hate cooking and a lot of veggies. What's a good way to make dinner something to look forward to? I'm always eating 1 or 3 different meals during the week because they're the easiest to make. So my answer for that is similar to the last question. Make 1 day a week a night that you try a new recipe. I always suggest cooking double. If you're taking the time to make a healthy dinner, double up your ingredients. That way the next night you can eat the leftovers, or for lunch the next day you can have the leftovers. This saves you some time. So for that question as well, I would say try a new recipe 1 or 2 a week, and if it's a favorite, then you can add that into your rotation. And you just, a simple like Google or search on Pinterest of quick and easy meals, crock pot meals, 15-minute meals, 20-minute meals. There's tons out there that you can find to add into your favorites. And as far as if you don't like veggies, there's a lot of different ways you can hide them. When my husband and I first started eating healthy, he hated veggies. He ate corn on the cob, that was I think it, and canned veggies. So I slowly introduced him to new veggies by putting it in things like a chili. You can throw some corn into chili. You can hide spinach in a morning smoothie. You can roast vegetables with olive oil, garlic, and salt, and they taste entirely different. They taste really good. You want to be careful about drowning your veggies in dressings and things like that, because then you're just adding a bunch of wasted calories. So find recipes where you can kind of hide the veggies in there, things like casseroles, spaghetti, things like that. You can just hide some veggies, extra veggies in there. All right, the next question is, how do I keep track when I work in the morning, come home, try to sleep, and work 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.? It screws up my eating, but I don't know how to stay on track with it. Do I continue to eat or have a snack and then breakfast, workout, snack, sleep, then eat? I normally don't sleep but sleep 3 to 4 hours a day when I work graveyards. So when I worked graveyards a long time ago, I know it's really hard if you have kids at home because you're trying to be present and busy with them during the day as well. But you can kind of look at, if you're working at 10 o'clock at night, if that's when your shift starts, let's say that you get up from your 3 or 4 hours of sleep at about 8 o'clock. That's like your morning. You're just going to flop it. So if you're getting up at 8 p.m. to get ready for work, I would do my workout at 8 p.m. so that I'm more energized to get through my graveyard shift. And then you're going to have your breakfast when you get up, and that's when you start your day of meals. And then a few hours before you go to sleep that afternoon, I would have snack again. So when you come home from work at 7 a.m., that's like your dinner. Even if you're having a breakfast food, that would be like your dinner, and then maybe you have a snack, and then you go to bed, and then you wake up and you start your day again. So I hope that makes sense. The next question is, what is a good snack for those awful PMS cravings? I always just want to stuff my face with chocolate. I can totally relate. I just want to eat chocolate that whole week before every month. And since I gave up sugar in October, I had to find some other alternatives. So if it's sweets in general that you're craving, look for frozen fruits. That was a huge game changer for me when I gave up sugar. So frozen grapes were number one. Don't buy pre-frozen grapes. Those are really gross. What you want to do is go to the store, to the produce section, buy fresh red grapes, rinse them off, and put them in the freezer. And they are amazing. They're like candy, I swear. Mango and pineapple are also high in sugar fruits, and they taste like candy, and they really help me when I have cravings. If I'm really craving chocolate, I have a chocolate protein powder or chocolate Shakeology, and I'll put a little coconut oil in there, a little vanilla extract, and a little bit of water, and stir it up and make it into like a cookie or a brownie bite, and 1 scoop of your protein powder. And then you can eat it all because you made 1 serving of it, and that's a really yummy treat. You can also do things like mug cakes with your chocolate protein powders, where you put some ingredients in there and nuke it in the microwave and put a little peanut butter in there. That's another healthier treat. You can have unsweetened cocoa powder, blend up some frozen bananas, and make like a chocolate ice cream. That's also really good. So my suggestion with that is just to look for some healthier alternatives that still give you that sensation that you've indulged and satisfies that craving. And the next question is there a cutoff time when we should be done eating for the day? So you're going to get a lot of different opinions about this, and my personal opinion is that if you're shooting for a certain number of containers per day on the 21-day fix or hammer and chisel meal plan, or you're a calorie counter and you're shooting for 1,500 calories a day, if after dinner you still have calories left over, it's okay to have a snack or like some fruit or a dessert or something if it stays within your calorie or your container limit for the day. If you're done with 1,500 calories and you're done with all of your containers by dinner and you feel like you want to have a snack at night, don't do it, because now you're eating in excess. And what's going to happen is you're either going to stay the same weight or you're going to gain weight. So I don't think that it really matters when you're getting in those calories throughout the day, as long as you're staying within the range of calories you're shooting for, so that by the end of the week you have a deficit and you're losing some weight. So I hope that that makes sense. With that said, late night snacking is never a good thing. Going to bed with a full belly can, keep you from getting restful sleep too. So think about that. And it's always good to digest for a few hours before you go to bed anyway. But my goal is, if it's within my macros or my containers or my calories, then it's okay to have a little snack. The next question is, sleep helps with recovery and weight loss. How many hours of sleep should a person get in a day? So most studies show that you should get between 6 and 8 hours of sleep, and it's going to be different for everybody. My husband does really good on like 6 hours of sleep. I do really good on 7 hours of sleep. You don't want to go below 6 hours, and typically you don't want to go more than 8 hours. Studies have shown that people who sleep too much do experience health issues, and people who don't sleep enough will experience health issues as well, because sleep is really important for recovery, not just for your mind, but for your body, for your stress levels and things like that. So the way you can gauge that is on a normal day, go to bed at, like 9 o'clock or something like that, and sleep on the weekend, sleep until you wake up, and then look at how many hours did you sleep. Don't use an alarm. And if you naturally wake up in 6 or 7 hours, that's probably the number that you need to shoot for. But I would say at least get a minimum of 6 or 7 hours of sleep. The next question is, what is a good grab-and-go yogurt that's not too sugary but is filling and tasty? So I've got some bad news for you. Most yogurts are loaded with sugar and really crappy ingredients. And I know that people really market yogurt to people trying to lose weight. You've got your low-fat and diet yogurts and Greek yogurts because they're loaded with protein, and really it's just really great marketing. I prefer to stay away from yogurts, all yogurts, because usually it's just loaded with sugar and some really bad ingredients. And milk, I don't really like milk. I don't think it's very good for you. I think it can create a lot of issues in your system and a lot of allergies, so I like to stay away from dairy. And in addition to that, when you're eating low-fat and diet foods, they're marketed towards people that think that they're low-fat and diet and that they're going to help you lose weight. But what they're going to do is give you some bloat, and they're loaded with sugar, so you're going to have an addictive response to them, so you want to eat more of it than you should. And they load it up with sugar and processed ingredients so that it tastes better, because if it didn't, it would really be gross. So my suggestion, if you're a yogurt lover and it's something you really want to have as a go-to snack, shoot for plain non-fat Greek yogurt or plain Greek yogurt, and add in your own fruit. Add in your own fresh fruit in there. It could even be frozen fruit. Then you're not getting that syrup and that sugar that they put in there typically. But if I'm going to have yogurt, I'm going to look for a non-dairy yogurt that doesn't have any sugar added to it, and then I'm going to add my own fruit. So I think So Delicious is like a soy yogurt. You can get coconut yogurt, maybe even almond yogurt, depending on what type of store you go to, like Sprouts or Whole Foods. I think they probably have options like that. Best thing to do is look at the ingredients. No sugar, no fructose corn syrup. No, none of that. And also make sure there's no like aspartame and fake sugars in there as well. Go for plain and add some fruit to it. And the last question I have on here is regarding 21 Day Fix. The program advertises that we just have to eat all our containers, but they also talk about calorie brackets. So do we track containers or calories or both? So the calorie brackets under 21 Day Fix is just to give you an idea, because you're doing a calculation to determine how many calories you need a day to maintain with the workout that you're doing, plus create a calorie deficit over the week so that you lose some weight. So because you calculate that with numbers and that's related to your weight, the only way to get there is with a calorie bracket, because you do the calculation. So once you know your calorie bracket, then you look at the chart and you find how many containers for your veggies, proteins, fruits, carbs, healthy fats, dressings, seeds, and nuts that you need to eat every day. So you don't need to count calories. Counting calories is really annoying and it gets really old. So all you need to do is make sure that you're eating your containers. So look at your food list for all the individual containers. Make sure that you're selecting food from those lists, and if it fits in the container, you can eat it, and shoot to eat all of your containers. If you're somebody that falls, like for example, one of the brackets is 1,200 to 1,499. If your calories calculation adds up to like 1,450, and you're eating all your containers and still feeling hungry, you can bump up to the next bracket because you're almost there anyway. Don't ever go below 1,200 calories. That's going to be really low and cause some metabolic issues if you do that for long term. But if you have questions about your specific needs when it comes to the 21-day fixed meal plan or hammer and chisel, which both follow the portion control containers, reach out to me so that we can talk about what your current weight is, what your activity level is, and how you're feeling on the bracket that it puts you in. So we might need to just add in like a green container or a red container if you're still feeling a little hungry. If you're feeling like it's way too much food, we can take out like a yellow container. So there's some different things you can do to mess around with it. But you do just want to count your containers. That's where you want to shoot for. So if you're not getting the results you want, reach out to me and we'll talk about where you're at and what adjustments we can make. So those are all the questions from the Q&A in my fitness community. Like I said, if you're just finding this on YouTube and you need some extra support, accountability, and motivation from my free fitness community on Facebook, reach out to me. We'll connect, talk about your goals, and I'll add you into the group. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you.